Hello and welcome back to Travel Check-ins with Saida
and Jermaine.
So today, guys, we are going to be talking about why we made the move to Kenya. I think this is a very important topic, a very important question, and we kind of want to walk you guys through what our thought process was when we decided to make the move, things we went through with the move, why we made the move, and where we are now. So make sure you like, make sure you comment. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So the first question we're going to tackle is, what was our life like in the U.S. and what, if any, was the tipping point to our move? Do you want to start with that question?
I can. I actually, before we left, I thought life was pretty good in the U.S.
Yeah.
The kids they gotten older, so they moved out. We saw the grandkids every week. Work was actually less stressful, so it was actually pretty good. I thought we left a pretty good situation.
Yes, and like Jermaine says, America was good. Like, we had created a life that we loved. We had a home. We were empty nesters. All of our kids were either married adults, parenting with their families, or carving out their adult lives, or still in college or / university. So we thought we were going to just go ahead and maybe just live our
best life.
Our best life. So for us, there wasn't a tipping point. There wasn't something that triggered us that was negative that made us move to America. So that's the answer to our first question. The next question that we want to answer is, how did we prepare for this move? So there's a lot of different parts. We want to talk to you guys about the logistical part of this move. We want to talk to you guys about the mental part of this move, any challenges and any planning that was involved. So what do you say? Okay, let's start from the beginning on how we even decided to, I guess.
Decided to make the move?
I guess so.
You decided how long ago? In your mind?
20. It wasn't the first time we came here. It was the second time.
2022?
I think it was 2022.
Huh. Okay.
I don't think it was 2016. So Jermaine and I have been to Kenya before, but the second time we came, we were riding around and something just stirred up in my heart and in my mind and my spirit, and I just said, you know what? I could see myself living in Kenya. I was like, man, we should move to Kenya. And I was so excited, and I just blurted this statement out. I was like, man, we should move to Kenya. And I think through that whole little time, I kept saying, I could see myself living in Kenya.
Yeah, I guess truth be told, I said no.
Yeah, and I think he kept saying, not me. I couldn't see myself living in Kenya. But so that's kind of where it all started. So,
well, I don't know if I couldn't see myself moving to Kenya. I was like, okay, what am I going to do once I get here? Right. That was my problem.
So that's how we prepared for the move. I think it started with the desire. And so from that desire, we had to figure out, okay, like Jermaine said, what am I going to do for a living when I move here? So as far as the logistical part, I think the work was the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, for me, that was my biggest hindrance. Once I found something that I could potentially do, then okay, I'm all in then. So, and
it was really like God ordered us to the answer, because Jermaine kept asking the question, what am I going to do if I move to Kenya? How am I going to make money if I move to Kenya? And it was just like a random experience that our eyes were opened up to a way that we could bring in revenue. So a part of preparing for the move was figuring out how we were going to make a living. And once that answer was revealed to us, then we were able to start moving forward with that. Another part was figuring out, okay, what do we do with the life we created here in the U.S.? What do we do with our home, our belongings?
Right. Especially the home. Mm-hmm. I guess the belongings, we just sold everything pretty much, right?
Yes. So we sold pretty much everything we owned. And I think that was one of the most challenging things for me. Man, we had just got settled. Like, we were looking forward to being empty nesters. We were moving towards this path of, okay, our son is going to be in college. He went to college his first year. I think he was in his second year when we left, right?
This year.
So he was in his third year. So me and Jermaine, we were actually preparing our home for I guess you would say almost like a child-free home. We had set up home offices. We had bought furniture that we loved. We were buying household supplies and stuff that we loved. We were creating our backyard space the way we love. We were thinking about buying a new grill for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I took a loss coming here, just to be honest, because that stuff we sold. I mean, we had to get here, the setting up. It was just like, okay, so nobody better question me whether I like or love Kenya, because I took a L coming here. I mean, life is still good here.
Yes.
We're just talking about a straight financial situation. To me, it was much better in the U.S.
Yes, from a financial perspective. So, so those are some of the challenges that were involved. So in order for us to prepare for the move, we did sell all of our stuff, but then we also had to decide whether or not we would sell our home or keep our home.
Right.
And so for us, we decided to keep our home after much deliberation.
Right.
Because we could have sold our home and then took a lump sum, financial gain from the sale of the home.
Right.
But we actually decided to rent out our home. We just felt like that made more sense to us. We have a really great tenant right now. We have a really great property management company. That was one of our biggest concerns, being here and managing a property in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, but we got a good company, so it's working out for us so far.
Right. So if you are an American and you have a home and you're wondering, like, how am I going to manage owning a home in the States and living in Kenya? It is possible with a great property manager. You don't have to feel like you're boxed into selling your home if you want it to be an investment property.
You better investigate them first, though.
You do. You have to do your due diligence when it comes to property managers. And so our next question we're going to talk about is, what's the difference between living in the U.S. and Kenya? Want to talk about weather first?
Well, this is the best weather I've been a part of, to be honest with you. 50, 60 in the morning. So far, it's been maybe 75 in the daytime, maybe 80, then it's back cool again. Man, I love this kind of weather. It'll be hard for me to give this back up, just to be honest with you. I know we have to go home for Christmas or whatever, but man, it's going to be hard dealing with that cold.
Yeah, the weather is really good here, like Jermaine said. And also food. Food is top notch here in Kenya. Like, give it up for yourselves, guys. Yeah, like Kenya, they have it down pat when it comes to restaurants, when it comes to groceries. Like, I love grocery shopping. I love going and exploring all of the different foods here that they don't have in the U.S., the different produce, even like learning how to interact with the butcher or the meat counter in the grocery store. All of it is just like one big adventurous experience.
Yeah, no GMOs. That's the biggest difference for me with the food. Because U.S., we have a diverse country, right? So it's people from everywhere. So I even know some people from Kenya in the U.S. But man, the no GMOs here. That's big. The foods taste fresher and it's just a lot to it.
And more flavorful. Like, the food just tastes different here. For example, I made something that I make a lot. I make Spanish rice a lot at home, and I use like serrano peppers, and I use bell peppers, like tricolor bell peppers, the yellow, the red, and the green. So I made Spanish rice here, and I'm thinking it's gonna just taste the same way it tastes at home. No. It was spicy and sweet at the same time, and it's never tasted like that in the States. It's always been savory and spicy when I made it in the States, using the same peppers and onions and cilantro. When I made it here, using the peppers, the onions, the cilantro, and the garlic in a serrano, it was a sweet and spicy rice. So it's just a little different.
Kenyans will probably know this already, but people from the U.S., it would be a big change for them because we call our peppers sweet peppers, but they're not sweet at all. They don't really have any kind of flavor. You come here, you will definitely tell the difference.
Absolutely.
In these peppers. So.
Yeah, sweet peppers are actually sweet here.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasant surprise to taste the rice the way that it tasted. Another difference between living in the U.S. aside from food and water is, for me, the cost of clothing. I went to the store and I bought 2 heavy cotton skirts and a 100% cotton t-shirt for I think like $45. Like, you're not gonna do that in the U.S. unless you're shopping like clearance or something like that. Like you go to a nice store and you shop your clearance rack. And yeah, no.
I know for me though, it's not having a car, not driving. Like I said, I started driving at 13, 14, I can't remember. I've never gone this long without driving. I haven't driven since August. It is now October. I've never gone that long. So in my life, that's a big change. But I don't really miss it, to be honest with you. To be honest, I don't need it.
It's nice getting driven around, right? Like I mean, then you can look at what you want to look at, and
it is. It's just the traffic is different. They're driving on a different side of the road here. The traffic's kind of, I don't understand it, so I'll just leave it alone.
Something else that's also different is the cost of living. It's weird. You get more for your money here in Kenya.
Much more.
You get much more for your money here in Kenya. Yeah, we have a video coming out and we're going to walk through like our accommodations, where we live and stuff like that. And
it'll be out before this one is.
Oh, well, yeah, so you'll have to go back and watch it. But you get so much more for your money living here in Kenya. And you can. Like, you may look at our circumstances and where we decided to live and how we decided to live, and you may say, well,
they might say I won't do that.
Yeah, you may not want to live how we live, but so you as an American coming to Kenya, you have so many options. You can go out and you can get a 5-bedroom home for less than we pay for our 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
So you can get a nice big green spaces. You can have a pool in your backyard. Mm-hmm. You can have avocado trees, or you can live in a high-rise apartment with security and doormen and restaurants and pools and spas, saunas and those things. It's like whatever way you want to live in Kenya, you can live, or you can live like a local if you want to.
Yeah, you can live here like you could in the U.S. if you were rich. So you don't have to lift a finger here. Be honest with you. If you come with, I would say, how much you think? 3,500, 4,000.
3,500 and up.
35 to 4. You don't really have to lift a finger if you don't want to. In the U.S., that cost is going to go up dramatically. It's going to be at least probably 15 a month, right? For you not to lift a finger.
Right. So you could definitely comfortably come here and live in a semi-extravagant life, or you could live a local life. Like right. the range is so wide, and you can just pick where you want to fall within that. Like, you don't, like, we shop at the like the Westlands grocery stores, the
right
Candy Stores, but there's so many markets you can go to, like local markets and large markets you could go to and get much better prices than we get. So,
and that's part of the plan, right?
Yeah, that's part of the plan. We're making it there, but that's some of the differences. Also, I feel like another difference here is support. I feel like we have a really good community of people that we know. Yeah,
we got some good friends. Yeah, good people.
We have some, and even our online community. I've noticed our online community has shifted so much since we've moved to Kenya. Like, there's just so much encouragement and inspiration, and you guys just cheering us on. So even that, it's like all these little benefits and rewards that we didn't know we would experience moving here. Another difference that I think is morals.
Man, I can go all day on that. It's just like, it reminds us of home when we were younger, right? So I don't know what's happened these last 20 years or so, but the more fabric has kind of unraveled it a little bit at home. I mean, you still got good people there and all that, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about the overall general population. Here, people still hold on to like traditional values a lot more, and I know some people don't really value them here, but you better, because once they're gone, man, it's no turning back, and you might not like how it looks.
Yeah, so we definitely love the morals here. Like, even watching television is more enjoyable because like the content, the commercials, the television content is not like pushing ideals or ideas on you that you may or may not be interested in. So we just kind of love that. It just kind of feels like back in the days when you were young and television was innocent and you could just watch TV for television.
Right.
So we definitely think that's one of the biggest differences. And the other one would be slower pace. Nairobi is busy. There's a lot going on, but I I believe that when Jermaine and I come into our apartment, I feel like we live a slower paced life a little bit.
Oh yeah.
We're busy now.
Yeah. Well, one reason it's slower, right? Because everybody here seems to be behind a gate. So when you are home, like the world doesn't exist. Unless you're high, you can look out and see everybody else. But yeah, in the U.S., typically most people are not behind a gate. Some people have a fence. If you got a gate, that means you got some, probably have some money a little bit too. But everybody here is behind a gate.
Pretty much. Unless you like are outside of Nairobi and other parts of Kenya.
And even some of them are behind the gate too.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question we want to tackle is, and it's probably the question that you all are interested in, is what drew us to Kenya. So there's a few different reasons why we decided to come to Kenya, but the number one reason for me is I feel like God was calling us to be here. And the first time I mentioned it to Jermaine, so Jermaine and I came here in 2016 on a missions trip. We were here for 15 days on a missions trip with our church. And that was our first experience being on the continent of Africa. And we loved the experience. We just loved everything that went on, all the impact that was made. And then we went home. And then there was another opportunity to go on another mission trip in 2020, I believe it was.
2022, right?
Oh, 2022.
Right.
And, you know, we came to me. You know what? I think it was 2016 that I was like, we should move to Kenya.
I think so.
I think it was the first time we came here.
Yeah.
Because I know it's no way 2 years ago is when I said it. No. I've been holding on to this since 2016.
I know. I was just going to let you go ahead with it. And
so that was the thing. We were riding around and I was seeing so many people with hair that looked like mine and skin that looked like mine. And I just was feeling like I felt like my family was just everywhere I looked. Just honestly, that's just how I felt. And then the fact that we were here doing missions was just like the icing on the cake, and I was just so excited. There was just so much exuberance in my heart, and so I shared it with Jermaine. And then you know, it didn't happen right then and there. It took time. It took from 2016 to now. 2024. So for me, it was God first. It was the mission field second, and it was the Kenyan culture. It just all sucked me in, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed all of it. It's just like I wasn't going to come here and not knowing how I'm going to eat. I just wasn't going to do it. I just couldn't do it. Maybe I could have done it earlier, but hey, everything is in God's time, and I'm here.
Yes.
I love it.
So what really drew us here was missions, because that was my thing. I was like, man, I went home feeling like anytime I do mission trips, I feel like I'm doing something meaningful. It's like, aside from being a wife and being a mother, raising my children, raising my family, homeschooling my kids and just raising them in the things of the Lord, I was like, okay, what meaningful thing am I going to do in the next season or next chapter of my life? Like, I'm 47. Jermaine is going to be 51 the end of the month.
Next week.
And I was just thinking about, okay, like, the highlight of my life was raising a family. And I'm like, what's next, God? And so God just gave us this thing to do. We come over here and we do missions. And I've been a content creator since 2008. And I was mostly like a mom blogger. And I was like, okay, I can't be a mom blogger forever. I said, my youngest is like 19 now. And plus, I didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to just pick up and go wherever the Lord was telling us to go. And Kenya was that. So, yeah, that's what drew us here.
I mean, the main thing, right, we feel called here. Because before we left, right, we found out how to travel cheaply. We were traveling a lot. We hadn't gone anyway except here since August, right? We've been here. We haven't gone anywhere else, did anything else. And we're fine with that because this is what we feel like we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're supposed to be here.
Yes. The next question is, what are things you've come to love about Kenya? Man, you know what I'm loving about Kenya? Go ahead, you talk. You say
No, I don't know what you were about to say.
You know, it's so much to love about Kenya. The food,
Right.
you know, there's so many places to get your hair done. Whenever I can get a moment to go and get my hair done, there's so many just beautiful African women here. I just love, like I was telling Jermaine the other day, I said, man, these women just be dressed so nicely. Like, they just look amazing. Like, I like their style, the outfits they put together.
What you want me to do? Comment on that?
No, but I'm just saying, they just look nice.
Like I said earlier, man, more than anything, and it's growing on me. I didn't realize it at first. This is just the weather, man. This is like people in the U.S. I've never been to San Diego, but people in the U.S. talk about how San Diego is.
Yeah.
It's never too hot, never too cold. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
So I've never been to San Diego, so this is the best I've ever had. So, and I don't know if I'm going to give it up, just to be honest with you. I don't always got to go home sometimes and stuff like that, but I got to come back.
Yeah.
I got to probably spend most of the time here, just to be honest with you. We'll probably just be here while I go back, and I'm getting older. My bones cold. I don't have time for that.
I think another thing I love that I was thinking about was the people. Now, don't get me wrong. When we're walking around, we get some mean mugs sometimes, like especially my husband. Like the Kenyan men sometimes look at Jermaine. I think Jermaine and them have the same kind of energy.
Yeah, I do. I got the energy.
Yeah, like sometimes when y'all come in the videos and y'all be like, oh, why Jermaine got that mean face? Man, when we walking around the mall, when we walking around Kenya, around Nairobi and stuff, his face is matching the other people's faces. Everybody got the same face.
But we're cool though.
Right, but
Yeah.
Kenyans are so cool. Like, one of the things I love is like, sometimes we'll get in a taxi or we'll run into somebody and they'll be kind of like in their energy, right? Like they're like they want to have their mean mug on. But soon as I say habari ya mchana or habari ya asabui, it's like they start smiling.
What did you say? Habari ya.
Habari ya mchana.
Oh, you said okay. You said I thought you said habari ya. I said what's that? Okay, I got you. No, I'm dead serious. I didn't know what. I said what? Okay, but yeah.
So when you greet people in Swahili, it's like a door just opens up and this sunshine comes out, and then they just get really friendly and talkative. So that's another thing that encourages me. That's what the support I'm talking about, you guys. It encourages me to keep working on my Swahili. Like, I only know a little handful of words, but you guys make it so, Kenyans make it so easy. Like, when you say your words, first I felt like they was clowning me.
Sometimes they'll say, to me, they'll say, what?
Yeah, at first I was feeling like I was trying to speak Swahili and I knew the words, and I felt like I wasn't being received. But I found out that even when we speak Swahili, we have an accent.
Yeah.
So knowing that has helped me to be more confident in continuing to try to get out of my comfort zone and speak Swahili. So that's another thing that I love about Kenya, that it makes me feel like, okay, there's support there, and not like they're gonna say, what you trying to talk Swahili for?
No, most people appreciate it if you try to make an attempt. So I'm cool with it.
They do. They absolutely do. But yeah, we love Kenya. We do. We really do. You know what else I love about Kenya?
What?
The growth.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Kenya is growing crazy. We was looking out the window to our apartment, and a friend of ours said, man, they need to sell that lot. And the next day, there's a major conference in our apartment building, and there's a big sign when you look down. It says it's about to be a new high-rise apartment building across the street. So it's just the growth here. It's just like Nairobi is growing fast.
Yeah, and I know everybody doesn't embrace the change, but you might as well, because it's here, man. People with a whole lot of money I see walking around here and building these high rises. So stuff is going to change, but it might change for the better, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times when the economy gets better, they pay the people a little bit more too. So I wouldn't fear. I would just kind of embrace the change and keep moving.
Absolutely. Next question is, what challenges have we faced with moving to and settling in Kenya?
Moving too? No challenges for me. I don't feel like I have a challenge settling in or moving. I mean, the hardest thing was leaving the U.S., right? But once we
that wasn't even hard. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was like I'm selling everything and I'm changing what I've been doing the last 20 years. So that was kind of hard. But once I got off the plane, hey, man, I've been here before. So we got friends here to kind of help us move around Nairobi because, hey, man, I don't have any challenges. I'm good.
My biggest challenge was the food, like figuring out the ingredients. Like here, there's different fruits, vegetables, and ingredients that we don't always use in the U.S. So some of them are new to me. So learning how to cook with those ingredients have been a challenge, and also learning like when you cook beef here, the texture of it is not going to be equivalent to the texture in the U.S. So when I cooked beef for the first time, it was still very tough after the same amount of time I would have cooked it in the U.S. So I've learned that I have to do things like marinate it or use meat tenderizer, and it's still just, it's not going to be, it's a different type of texture than the meat in the U.S.
The beef is everything else.
The goat maybe
the
too.
The beef and the bacon. Everything else is pretty much same thing, just fresher, right?
Yeah. You're not gonna get the typical bacon here.
No.
Also, when we go for ground beef, they don't call it ground beef. They call it minced beef.
I mean, same thing.
It's the same thing. And also just using kilograms instead of pounds.
That's the hardest thing. the weather, Celsius to Fahrenheit, the volume, stuff like that, milligrams.
Yeah, when we're in the gym,
the
right?
Pounds,
the pounds.
That stuff is still off for me. I mean, I'm slowly coming into it, but you just gotta adjust, man.
Yeah, so like it's only those little things, but like now that I'm learning how to cook more foods, we're making some of the recipes we used to make at home, and they taste even better. Yeah. Like we just made chicken tenders, and whew, man, they were so good. So so those were just some of like the cultural differences. The other thing I would say was the visa process too. The ETA process.
ETA process wasn't that bad. Actually, one of our friends filled it out for us this time.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like when we got here.
Right.
Remember, I went to the immigration office and was like, we want to get the extension and all that.
Oh, yeah. You got to double check some of that stuff for the 90 days versus 30 days. But like we said before, you always need boots on the ground. You need somebody here that can kind of advise you, because things are different. Once you get used to it, you're like, okay, it's nothing, but it is different. So you need somebody here that you can say, hey, what do you think about this? Or have you run into that? You just coming here cold, not knowing anybody, I guess it could be done, but it'll make your life a lot harder.
And let me just give you guys an example. Like when Jermaine and I, before we came, our friend, he filled out our ETA application. We got approved for the 90 days, right? And then we got here, passport stamped and everything. And we thought, okay, we're good to go. Our ETA says we can stay for 90 days. The passport is stamped saying we came into the country. But we actually had to go and get another stamp that's inside the passport that says you're staying until...
Yeah, because I think the passport might have said 30 days when they stamped it, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it did. I think it was just stamped with the entry date.
Yeah, but now we gotta... It kind of lined up now.
So. Right. So, but what I'm saying is when we came in, having in hand our ETA that said we can stay for 90 days, and a passport stamp in our passport saying we gained access to or entry to Kenya, we thought that was enough.
Right.
But we had to go and get a stamp, and we only knew that because our friends live here in Kenya, and so we did get a stamp that showed we can stay to the end of the.
And you know, if you're gonna you plan on staying here for the long term, right? You got to handle that anyway.
Yeah.
Because you can't stay forever on a travel visa, so you got to go down to the what do you call it?
Is it Nyanya House?
Something like that. The Kenyans know what we're talking about.
Nyanya.
Yeah. So you got to go down there anyway. So, and if you're just coming to visit most people they visit for under 30 days, right? So then you won't have a problem. So, you can get over it.
So some people might come and experience homesickness. Have you experienced any homesickness?
No.
Me either. I feel like this is home.
Now, this is the thing, right? And I keep saying, I know some people they hate the U.S. I do not. I will tell you, because my life was good before I left the U.S.
Yeah.
Now, some things about home I do not like, but they've been there forever. And it's just here. I just love it here. It has nothing to do with not liking home. I love it here. So the only thing that we really, we have kids, right? So everybody wants to see their kids or grandkids. And we have parents, brothers and sisters, that's all just family and friends. But just being homesick, no, I'm not going to lie. I'm not homesick at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to see my kids and stuff for the holidays, but we're coming right back here, and I'm cool. And after a while, people better start coming on this side.
Yeah.
I'm stopped going home so much anyway.
Yeah, but homesick, no. Missing those, like, day-to-day in-person relationships.
Yeah.
You want those, but you understand just life is just different.
Right.
So we do video calls and we do text messages and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay, so how has living in Kenya impacted our lifestyle, our work, and personal growth?
Work, right? We have to work at a different time because our work starts 4:30 here and doesn't end until about 11 or so. So, but if we are home, it'll be like 9 to 5, which is much better hours. But you just got to get over that. You gotta pay for certain things. So I got to pay for having this good weather and this good food. Me just having to work a later shift, it's fine.
So I think our lifestyle in Kenya is, I feel like our lifestyle in Kenya is very similar to our lifestyle in the US. We do things like go to the gym together.
Right.
We do things like work together. We do things like creating content for the YouTube channel and Instagram together. So those things are kind of the same. We're just in a different geographical location. But I realize life is different here because one thing we used to do is we used to do bulk shopping at Costco each month and then picking up things here and there. Whereas now I feel like we are going to the store
about every 3 days.
Yeah, it's like you have to go to the store frequently. One, because we have a small refrigerator and freezer, but two, because the food is just a little bit more perishable here.
Right, without all those preservatives. They're spoiled.
And then even like when so what about like our life, what about how living in Kenya has impacted our personal growth?
That's a hard question. I thought about, let me back it up for a second.
Yeah.
Like our lifestyle is different because now we really don't have to pick up a finger if we don't want to. We kind of found a little groove that we don't have to leave for the gym. We don't even have to go in the elements. We don't have to leave. We can order groceries we want to just like at home. So only thing, like I said, is just Amazon's not here and I don't need to order from there every day anyway. But my personal growth, it just holds, like here you're held to a higher standard, I guess. Everybody here, well, most people here, they have somewhat of a moral compass, I guess you could say. So you can't be caught out in these streets just doing what you want to do. And man, there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of Muslims, a lot of Christians here. Even the Christians here, even what I would call halfway Christians, they still know more than a lot of people when it comes to Bible and stuff like that. I was like, oh man,
you have great
crazy
conversations with people here. Like the conversations are meaningful and they're purposeful and they have a lot of value to them. And I think like even living here, like our personal growth is enlarging and expanding. Like we're learning Swahili. We're like being intentional about learning Swahili. So me and Jermaine, we practice at least once a day Swahili. And then the other part is like we're in missionary school right now. So every day we're doing missionary training. So we're learning about the Bible. We're learning about character and the deeper things and how to basically not be in a mission field and tearing up the mission field, basically not going into the mission field and making a mess of things. So it's basically like working on your character and developing yourself as a person and learning how to interact with people where they are and just basically learning how to love people, you know.
And realizing being a missionary is not necessarily just going in the field and out in rough conditions, and it's a broad spectrum of things.
Right.
To get into it.
There's multiple aspects of being in the mission field, because there's teaching, there's equipping pastors and leaders to go into their communities, maybe communities where we can't go, and for them to share the gospel, and for them to make changes in their own personal communities.
You can support, send.
Yes.
You can you can send money to them and help. We got an organization that we're going to be part of. We might put that
We'll
information
link it in the
later,
description box. Well, we are part of.
Yeah, we're a part of it, yes. But yeah, we're just getting there.
So yeah, it's a lot of different things that we're learning, that missions is more than, like Jermaine said, just being in the mission field, as far as like being in a rural area, whatever. There's a lot of different ways that you can make an impact for the kingdom. Like he said, like, you know, giving and teaching and sending and equipping. It's just so much that there is to do. And so I'm excited to see how the Lord is going to be using us in this season. And guys, we just came out of the mission field, so we know what it is to be in the mission field, and we'll share that video with you guys
sometime soon.
Sometime soon. So the next question is, how has our relationship evolved since the move?
I think still evolving, man.
Constantly evolving,
Constantly evolving.
Evolve, devolve.
Put it that way. Sometimes it's what do you call it? What the Bible said? Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
And sometimes that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a process. We're even seeing more of ourselves, and even going through missions training. It's making you take a look at things that you may be holding in your heart, or things that you may not be resolved of, or areas where you can grow more, where you can strengthen your character as a person, where you can just be your best self. So our marriage, me and Jermaine, this is 23 years for us. Our marriage is going to constantly be evolving. This is a new season for us. We've raised our kids together. Now we are living life with just the two of us, and not just living life with just the two of us, just to live our best life for ourselves, but living life for the Lord. That's just really our priority. Our priority is to always keep God first and figure out, okay, what does He want us to be doing? How can we give Him glory and bring Him glory in this season of life? So the next question is, knowing what you know now, knowing what we know now, will we still make the move? Why or why not?
Okay, having the same information I know now, I probably would have moved earlier. If I'd have known the information to get here earlier, if that makes any sense. If I could have found a way to, say, last year to get here and make sure I don't starve, yeah, I've done it earlier. Yeah, especially how now I feel just so comfortable. I didn't know how I was going to feel when I came over here, but now it's like I feel like I'm home. It's not even a thing. I don't even feel like I'm in a foreign place. The only way I know I'm in a foreign place is because I can't speak the language, and sometimes I'm on the street. People could they'll walk by me, and then they'll turn and look and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the clothes or what. But initially they can't see, but something in the mind just says, he might be different.
I think it's the way we dress. I think it's like the brands that we wear, like our sneakers and like our clothes. I think they're just a little bit different. So I think people notice us.
But they've been cool.
Yeah, but everybody's very cool, very welcoming. And as far as like long-term plans, like we want to be here in Kenya long-term. We want this to be our permanent home or part of our longer-term home. Right. Jermaine and I, we love to travel. There are other countries we want to go to, because I think that the Lord is calling us to other countries to make an impact. We have a Christian couple / family that we want to go and connect with in Thailand. So there's a lot of different places we want to go. We've done missions in Honduras. I wouldn't mind going back to Honduras. So we're open to going wherever. So you guys will see us travel different places, but long term, I really would love for Kenya to be our home. If it's the Lord's plan and we get a long-term visa, I could see us like maybe
this would be home base, right?
Yeah,
instead of like going back to the US.
To the US.
Go home. We this is home.
Right. We would go where we want to go or need to go, and then we would come back here. This would be our home. So where we are right now, the apartment we live in, I don't think this will be our home. Like this won't be our home long term.
Long term, no.
But this is a good place for us now, especially for us being here for such a short period of time. But when we come back, if we can get a longer term missionary visa, then we'll absolutely begin looking for a place that we can actually call our own.
Right. That's the thing. Once we get that, then we'll move somewhere else.
Yeah, because you're talking about buying a place and then you're talking about furnishing a place, and we don't have long-term visa. That just doesn't make financial sense for us.
And this place still feels new, so I'm good being here right now. So all in time.
Yes. And what advice would we give to anyone considering to move to Kenya or any other country?
Well, okay, let's start with Americans, especially Black Americans, right? I know some of us want to feel like we're coming home, and it's somewhat that feeling. But you got to remember, everybody else doesn't feel that way. Like, some people could care less that you're here. Now, some people, they'll welcome you here, welcome home. But you got to realize, people have their day-to-day lives. It's not going to be a welcoming committee when you get here. So you got to make sure this is where you want to be. And if you don't come here for healing, if you are hurt, get yourself together before you come here.
Right. Get resolved before you come.
Right. Then you could be of use to somebody else, you know, other than you need them to take care of you because you got some kind of hurt. Like, you know, deal with that trauma and stuff before you come. And when you come, then you'll have a great time.
Yes, you will.
Right.
Come whole, come healed.
Right.
And come with peace.
Right.
And you'll have a great time.
And one other thing, realize the cultures are different. Don't just say, they do it like this and just criticize. Realize, hey man, you coming, or lady, you're coming to someone else's culture. So to a certain extent, you have to adapt. Now, there are some things about some of the culture that you might say, okay, I don't have to do it that way, and you don't. But for the most part, you're gonna have to blend in. Like, this is not the U.S. And I don't want it to become the U.S., just to be honest with you, because it's a lot of things. But don't come here with the drama, please.
Be humble.
Yes.
And come. And the other thing I would say is consider your long-term strategy. If you're just coming here for a short period of time for a vacation or whatever, then that's different. But if you are saying you want to come here for a long-term basis, do your research. What I would say is make sure you come here. I would even say do some preliminary visits.
Yes, I would.
You know, I know some people move here cold turkey. They just pick up and they move, and that's fine. And I think different people have different personalities. I think some people can get up and they can do that. Like, I'm that kind of person. I can get up and I can move, and that's just because I moved a lot growing up, and I've lived in other countries. I lived in Korea. So
not me.
But I don't think everybody can just get up and move and just start moving through another country or society. So I would say visit first to get to know some people.
And the main thing is have your finances in order or semi-order before you get here, because you really can't work here, right? I mean,
unless
it
you
might be a
come
way,
with your company.
Yeah, it might be a way around it. For the most part, no, you coming, they're letting you here so you could be a benefit to the economy. So you need to have your finances in order before you come. Now, it doesn't have to be U.S. Well, it needs to be. You don't have to have the same U.S. standard, right? You come here for $2,500, you're gonna be able to live. You're gonna be okay, right? You're gonna be able to stay in a decent place, and you're not going out to eat every day and all that good stuff. Don't think it's that cheap.
Like as a single person, right?
Single person.
What would you say is a good amount, like a reasonable amount of money so they can live comfortably?
Kids or no kids?
No kids, just a single person.
Oh, just a single person? If you young, 25 to 3, I think you'll be okay. Now, if you adult and you like to go out to eat and all that stuff, really, man, once you get over like 3 to 35, then you start getting to the comfort zone. Anything above that, you do whatever you want.
You can live any way you want to live in Westlands.
Right.
Anywhere you want to live. I mean,
not anywhere. No, it's not that cheap.
No, I thought you said over 35. I thought you said when you get over 3,500.
Yeah, but well, I know they can't see what I'm pointing at.
Yeah, but if you want to live, I mean, if you want to live in Skynet's penthouse, you're gonna pay about.
I think I think they started at like 3, right? 25, something like. I can't remember.
Now you can live in Skynet's unfurnished for less than 2. I heard less than 2,000. But like I said, if you come in here short term and then you don't have a long term visa, I don't see why you would want to get an unfurnished place.
Right.
And you don't even know where to first buy furniture. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. Like Jermaine said, make sure your finances are in order. Preferably know somebody that lives in the country.
Right.
And I would say network. Like, don't come and be a hermit. Mm-hmm. And I would say don't just network with other Americans and expats, because there are groups in areas within Nairobi where you can just go hang out with expats all day, all night.
You can. There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You can hang out with expats all day. But like for me, I wanna know, like, who are the Kenyans that live in Nairobi? What kind of lifestyle do you have? What's your day-to-day life? I want to learn about them. And then also when we're going outside of Nairobi, I'm wanting to know, what is life like in the village? How do people live in the village? So it just depends. Do you want to know about Kenyans, or do you want to live in Kenya and mostly spend time with expats?
I mean, we met one lady that was an expat, right?
Yeah.
She's from where we're from, matter of fact.
Right.
So, yeah.
Just diversify your network and your friend group.
Mm-hmm. We'll maybe meet some more. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. For some reason, we don't run into expats like that. We just like around Kenyans all the time.
Yeah, always around Kenyans, always asking them their story, asking them what's going on with them, or they'll see us and they'll, maybe ask us something, say something.
Once they know you're friendly.
Yeah.
Because some people walk around here with,
Yeah, just come and be friendly. Even if people don't seem like they're friendly, just be friendly. So I think that's all we have for you guys today. Those were our key points on why we moved here and what some of our situation was. Our main thing is we came here to be missionaries. That's the first and foremost thing. And we're just excited and looking forward to all that the Lord wants to do in our lives. We thank you guys for coming along with us on our journey. Mm-hmm. Make sure you make sure you comment, drop any comments or questions you have down in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe because we have some great videos coming up for you. Yeah,
and if you're American and you have any questions, just shoot us
But they have to leave a comment.
Leave a comment. You can't do shoot us a comment and we'll try our best to answer it. We're not experts yet. But we're here. Yep. And it's all coming together for us. All right. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.